I want you to picture that you're on a boat. Now, not like a big powered boat, not a one with a whole staff or a crew. You alone in a modestly medium small boat. And you've got a paddle and you've got, on the horizon, shore. And you don't know if it's an island, you don't know if it's a part of a continent, you can't tell. It's on the horizon. But you can certainly tell that direction, the waves are going to be smaller than where you are. That if you go away from it, the waves are only going to get bigger. Now your boat has a little bitty hole or crack in it. Not a very big one, but enough that water is coming into your boat. You can tell, and fortunately it's slow enough that you're able to keep bailing out that water. And as you do this, you find that you're pretty tired from bailing out the water. I mean, you have to. You can't not bail out that water or you're going to sink eventually. You're so exhausted from bailing out the water that when you're not bailing out the water, you rest and recover. Because of course you do need to rest and recover because you have to be able to have the energy in you to bail more water out. And what I want to focus on today is the importance of making sure that between bailing out the water, however little it may be, and recognizing again, you do need to rest because you do need to bail out that water because you cannot sink. However much you can fit in of paddling towards the shore is necessary, right? Hey, whether it's a couple paddles, whether it's a little bit, whether it's 5 minutes a day, whether it's an hour a day, whether it's once every other day, whenever it can be done, you need to paddle towards shore. A lot of people find themselves in a situation where they are fighting to tread water, where they're in a situation that they don't like. And on the one hand, you need to fit in what you can, but the more important part is that when you're being clever about what you can fit in, to not just maintain the same situation forever, to not just accept that you're always going to be in that boat bailing out that water, when you can see on the horizon that shore to move towards, to make any kind of movement at all. And several things happen, right? I mean, again, it's going to leave us even more tired. It may leave our feet a little bit wet at times. Sometimes even knowing that we're making some progress towards the shore is itself better. Helps us feel like we're doing something to improve our situation. And I want to be clear that there's a lot of different forms that paddling towards the shore may take. I mean, I assume it's not being lost on you, but obviously what I'm referring to here when I'm talking about bailing out the water, it is dealing with the things that you have to deal with in your current situation. Earning income, putting in the hours, being responsible, taking care of your obligations, your duties, all those things, like I say, you do have to bail out that water. No one's saying that you don't. The ways that we move ourselves towards the shore, moving towards the shore, it's about getting better problems. Once you get to land, you will still have other problems. You will still have to eat, to sleep, to take care of yourself, to have other obligations, have other responsibilities, to earn income somehow. You'll still have problems, but you'll certainly have better problems because at least one of your problems won't include also bailing out so much water from the boat. And the ways we move towards it might be, depending on what kind of situation you're in, what kind of situation you're trying to get out of, making new connections with other people. It might be in the form of learning new skills and practicing those skills. It might be demonstrating things that you already can do, but lack enough evidence to have someone else compensate you for doing. It might be better positioning yourself in the work you've already done to be able to improve that. And even though I say compensation, one of many different forms this might take, right? For some people, it's about earning more money, and that helps solve certain sets of problems, obviously. For some people, it's about having more creative control, even if it, for sometimes, involves earning less, but they enough to stay, be where they want to be. For some people, it amounts to just having more time freedom, of whether it's increasing gradually the amount that they're able to earn, not so they can earn more total, but so they can work fewer hours and still meet their basic needs and so on. So there's different forms that it takes. And this isn't about prescribing, here's the right answer for anybody. It's about making sure that whatever it is you're trying to move towards, that you're occasionally fitting in something that moves you towards it. Taking some courses, reading some things, putting yourself in new situations to make new connections, going out of your way to, if nothing else, ask yourself questions actively of what direction is the shore in? Am I making progress towards it? Making sure the kind of progress that we're making towards it is the type that's cumulative, that it's not reset as quickly as we're doing it, that we're at least able to fit in enough paddling towards the shore that we're not simply drifting right back out the same amount or more every time we can. And so whatever the spot might be for you, and I say this partly, I leave it so relative because even the people that I train for game development are very often crisscrossing in wildly different directions. I work with people who are at big companies who are trying to move themselves into smaller companies, or who just want the creative freedom to do their own things on the side, which is different than what the big companies train them to do. I work with people who have no background in trying to just do it at all. And for them, the shore is, I need to be able to have the skills to do this because that's important to me. I work with people who already can do it, but trying to move themselves into, I want to be able to do this kind of a little bit more profitably, professionally, coordinating-wise, bigger scale, things that might help enable them to have a foundation to do something more independently, separate from the big company, separate from just doing their own creative side, hobby projects. Different people have different goals. And sometimes it takes similar forms of, again, am I improving my skill sets? Am I improving what I tangibly can do? In some cases, it might include some outside credentials, taking some online course that has some sort of certification, some sort of moving around the country and going to school, applying to school, in which case taking the required exams or whatever it is, looking at what is that shore to you? What are the things you can do to paddle towards it? And what are the little bits and pieces we can be studying, applying ourselves to, practicing, doing, demonstrating, taking shots in terms of making new connections, meeting new people, knowing that any given one of those may not click, may not be the actual person you're looking for, but putting yourself in new situations, including if what you've been doing has not been working, right? If you think you've been paddling, you've been trying to paddle, but you look up and after weeks of alternating, bailing out water and being tired from paddling, and look up and the shore has not gotten any closer, then to change what you're doing. If what you've been doing hasn't been working, then to change what you're doing, then to try something else. And heck, for all we know, you're lined up in a current that's pushing away, if we're overextending our metaphor, in which case, move laterally and then try again. But to be aware of what direction you're trying to go in, what are the things that you can do to paddle towards the shore, and then making sure that we aren't just maintaining the situation that we're in and making the best of it, but that we're also at any given time moving in whatever direction we currently perceive is going to improve the kind of problems that we have. And again, if it's a little bit, if it's a lot of it, however much we can fit in and still maintain, because we do have to, like I say, rest enough, bail out enough, but occasionally have maybe our feet a little bit wet as we are also making some progress towards getting out of that situation into a better situation, which will still have problems, but we'll have better problems. That's the thought for the day. That's it. Thanks for being here. Catch you another time. Bye for now.